like they said, see, Nixon and John McCain and quite a few other people had this little deal going with Rodney and Rosalie and a few other people that basically they would do all the killing for them as long as, I was taken care of or something, like I was killed or something like that. Once I was killed or out of the way. See, 1917, everybody thought I was dead. And it was like 1917. They thought I was dead. So but other people thought that maybe that wasn't so easy. But anyway, the point though is that basically, certain people who had killed and raped in Africa until they had gotten kicked out of Africa or something, or were controlling Africa or something like that. There were certain world leaders, apparently. They're like, are leaders of countries. Now, the thing is that most countries I actually own. There was this black piece of shit that that had basically, he was chopping off arms in Africa to take over, or he was, he had his men, his little 15-year-olds, and he started life with 15 years old with an AK-47 in his hand, and he basically shot his way until he was in charge of an airplane. Look at me now. Anyway, he thought he was so powerful and so amazing and so this and so that. And he thought he could just shoot his way into one of my bases. Like I say, the base that is actually what makes up Korea is actually a very large base. It actually was built over like 150 years or 200 years. It was a big mining thing, and it was a big base. And it's actually hardened to withstand 100 megaton nuclear attack, direct attack. It is in actuality probably one of the safest places on Earth to be. There are like 5 or 6 places like Mount Rushmore or Mount Cheyenne, and there's a couple others hidden secret bases, and some ones underground. They're very nice and cost a lot of money. Now, certain people thought that they could just run underneath the ground and hide while the rest of the world died. And that was actually their plan. They were going to kill me, kill whoever they wanted, do whatever they wanted, then go inside their little shelters and wait for everyone else to die. They're going to be waiting a long time. Thing, though, is that, like I say, I own Mars, I own Neptune, and all the other planets. I own that sun, I own this planet, I own 80 galaxies. When you're talking about epic rulers and epic leaders, you might as well just shoot me in the head now, because I don't give a fuck. I built the base in Korea. That was my base. My people built it. I led my people. I created it. I don't need guns my police officers and my military have guns. I don't need some 15-year-old kid that just started shooting his way all the way up until he got to Korea. And then he sells to the other pieces of shit of the world to basically try and take over and basically do terrorist actions from my base in Korea. Like I say, just like I don't need the other pieces of shit on this planet, like Nixon or John McCain or Rodney Briley or Rick Bush or any other things. Apparently, at some point in time, I found myself in competition with street gangs. Anyway, like I say, Roosevelt, from the point of 1925, was trying to take over the canal mine. It is a mineral mine and built quite a few steam engines and quite a few trains and quite a few other stuff, and that's just what I'm doing, playing around. When I play around, things like the Panama Canal happen, and also the Titanic, all 3 of them, and lots of other stuff happen. When I get serious, planets actually start getting destroyed. Anyway, I am 1 trillion years old, and I don't really care. Anyway, the day I actually go into competition with a street gang or some piece of shit liar that just goes around saying that he's president is the day that I shoot myself in the head, because I don't give a fuck anymore. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. And then these said piece of shit we're trying to go around saying that it's the law to submit to the ruler. It's like, I am the creator and I am the ruler and I am the lord of this planet and every single nation on here. And I'm not forcing any girls down. Anyway, they went to Panama, they went to Cuba, they went to basically from the point in time of Nixon and John McCain and Theodore Roosevelt, they went around on this shit slide all the way through my planet. Everywhere they went, it just left this smelly, slimy shit trail behind them. They carpet bombed, they killed, they did everything that they could possibly do. Probably after I was dead. They looted my old temples. They pulled gold off the walls and put it on their teeth. And basically there was this shit smell all over my planet. My hardened bases where they were going to hide inside. It's like, you didn't pay for that. You didn't build that. And you didn't invent for that. But do you think you're going to be safe inside of that? Anyway. In the end, they weren't safe. No. They had all these plans and all these ideas, and though they didn't tell anyone or didn't talk about it, and I told them exactly what was going to happen before it happened. And I didn't, I told them like this too. They had every opportunity not to. And they thought that, whatever. Anyway, the reason why Lucifer got promoted to the very tippy top of every list was because eventually they did realize that I was the creator of particles and the creator of the galaxies and the suns. It was verified. And a lot of people that thought they could get away with stuff actually didn't get away with it. And then they received, after they thought these people were dead, and there was proven that these people were dead, these people couldn't have lived on, came the videos of them screaming and being tortured. I had them anyway. Anyway, JFK, John McCain, probably even Rodney. I'm not exactly sure. There were people that were actually not going to exist anymore, and actually were anyway. Basically, 80 galaxies worth of pain and suffering came down on some people, and that's only after, because like I say, there was a lot of stuff because I own Germany, I own America, I own Korea, Cuba. I mean, they're all mine. That's why my laws are there. That's why I invented for them that this planet is mine. Those planets are mine. This galaxy is mine. The galaxy that's going to hit us is also mine. There are 80 other galaxies that are also mine because I created them, created for them. Anyway, they don't really know it, and I don't really need 80 galaxies. I just happen to be right here. So, like, I just kick it. And there are probably, there are more galaxies than that. There are galaxies from that. Anyway, I don't really care. But basically, there's all these people that thought that it didn't matter. And it does matter. It did matter. They screamed for 1,000 years. Anyway, yeah, so... Anyway, and I found out because, like I said, my records go back a long, long ways. And my records are like this to this to this to this. It's very, very easy to track my records. Like I paid out $150 million for basically Cuba and Brazil and all those countries down there. My construction teams built them. My construction teams built all of Europe. My construction teams went to China. Unit 731. Anyway, just because some pieces of shit think they can just take over and use drugs or do this thing behind my back, they thought they could just take over and win. And it's like, no, they really couldn't. And every step of the way, my people always fought back because it's like, we have a leader already. And they do. Me. And I led them to great prosperity. From China to, every other country too, and every other planet as well. So anyway, it doesn't really matter now because I led them and said, all right, and died at some point in time and all that other stuff. But anyway, and then I see them on TV. It's like, oh, I know who you are.